Good morning and welcome to Fat Cow Farm. Now, what we've decided to do here at Fat Cow Farm is that we're going to go try and go full sustainability for our fruit and veggies as of the 1st of January 2025. Now, what we've been doing is recording and logging what foods and things that we've been eating. A lot of it's already coming out of the gardens here, but we want to take it to that next step. Now, we're having a bit of a joke at home about this because we're either going to get really, really fat or really, really skinny. So, depending on how it goes, and you'll see during next year, if I start getting all drawn out, you're going, yeah, this ain't working too well. We need to change things. But in saying that, so what I've done is, in preparation for 2025, I've got my little corn already starting to establish and things like that. So we'll be planting these out in this bed here. And what we're going to be doing is actually running 3 beds or 3 bays. And so basically what we'll be doing is, let's say every 6 weeks, we plant. Every 6 weeks, we plant a new one. Every 6 weeks, we plant another one. And we're going through the process now of, I've just organised the cooler for the Coolroom. So that won't be too much longer before the Coolroom's up and running and we'll be able to store our food. And that was the biggest issue that we had. So potatoes, pumpkins, corn, things like that were a real issue for us because we had to eat heaps and then next week you had nothing. So we're going to go through that process of now storing our foods and then growing and then putting away for another time. So other things that we're looking at is, and it's not very popular here, but in America, they just love it, which is a part of their preserving. So they call it canning, and the best thing that I can find here is the Vicola, and in jars. And so we can then preserve foods. So things like our fruits, we can preserve fruits and all those sort of things. We can do cucumbers and capsicums and a myriad of other things to get us through that winter period. And so that's what that's what our aim is for 2025. Now, what I'll do is we're going to go through a little bit of an intro and see what's going on here in the garden now in the chicken coop, and then we'll go into the hoop house and I'll show you what we've got going in there. So what I need to do is just get all my little corn in, and as you can see, last weekend I sorted out these bays. So basically what we're looking at now, and I've let that settle for a week, and I'll now plant out, get my seeds in. So we've been doing a lot of seed collection over the years now, and we're trying to find the varieties that work best for our environment. So we've started through the idea of diggers have been a very big one for us, that we can try our seeds, and a lot of them don't work here. But this is what it's all about, trying to find different tomatoes that work. So what we've done is I think we've planted out 12 different varieties of different tomatoes, and again we're going to see what works and what doesn't work, but that's the lead up. So we know that coming into summer we'll have a truckload of tomatoes, but then we'll take basically what works best and then we'll keep those seeds for the following year. So again, we're still going to make all our tomato sauces, our tomato pastes, plus fresh tomatoes as well. And I want to see how long they keep for if we were to keep them on the vine. So we won't be picking things straight off. We'll be cutting them this year so that the vine is still attached to the fruit or the vegetable. They tell me that that's a better process of how to store your foods. So we've got a heap of corn to go in, and I'll sort all that out. We've got a heap of seeds. So basically what we're going to be doing here is corn along here. We've got beans there. broccolis, cauliflower, things like that. And we're not planting truckloads. You know, we're planting about 10 of each for the 6-week period. And then we'll plant another 10 for the next 6-week period. And what we're hoping is that the process will really start around about mid-December, or let's say December. We'll then have that process up and running. So we needed to get that first volume of food in, which is now, and then we can go from there. All right, so I'll be planting all these out. I'll come and find you, and we'll go through a bit of an idea of what we've got going on in the chicken coop. So I'll come and find you, and I'll see you soon. All right, so we've planted out everything here in bay number 3. We've got beans, lettuce, basil, carrots, parsnip, cauliflower, broccoli, corn, zucchinis, and I think that's pretty much about it for here. And actually, I thought we would have a lot less space, but what we'll probably end up finding is that because we only planted 10 or 12 of each, come that next 6-week period, we'll plant back in here and we'll know where the spaces are. So everything will come up, and then we can start shuffling around and working out where things are and where things aren't, where the spaces are, and we can plant our next 6-week process coming in through the system like that. All right, so really what I wanted to now do, as you know, most of our processes here at the Fat Cow Farm, this one's here almost ready for this bay here, number 2. The chickens are just about finished in there. We've still got some celery left over, but that will be our next bay to jump into. So, you know, what are we looking at now? So what are we, August, September, October, so that'll be sort of that November period in there. We'll get that one up and running, and then by that time we've got another one across which I'll show you. Actually, come with me now, and then we'll have a bit of a look around. All right, so in bay number 1 is typically what we've got in here is all our garlic. So these are our Italian reds. So we planted, I think if you remember back, we planted close to about 1,300 bulbs or cloves. So, and I've had a bit of a sneak peek at these, and then they're establishing themselves really well, but we're now waiting on the daylight hours. So these guys won't be ready until January, February. So we had to dedicate a bay to those. We've got all our onions, we've got creams, reds and browns all over there. So we're just waiting for those to come up at the moment, and then that'll all need to be thinned out. We have, oh, sorry, Bowie. We have chickens. So that's their bay as well as number 2. So they're the ones that they use constantly. We've just got them closed off for the minute, and they've got the weekly veggie scraps, all the leftovers. This is just a cover crop. So what we're doing is we're just waiting for a little bit more. That needs to be basically full, and then the chickens will come into this one, and then we'll take over bay number 2. So as you remember, we always like to give the chickens at least 2 bays. I think with our new system, they'll be down to 1, but that's just the way it goes. So they've got plenty of space. And then down in bay number 6, this is where the rest of the garlic are. So we've got the Australian whites, and then also the, what have I got in here? The Valiant Monaro, which is also like a red sort of garlic. So this is what we needed to establish for us to get to that sort of 3,000 clove mark for our beds outside, out in the orchard itself. And they're all doing fantastically. I think, you know, we were weeding, and I think there was, you can see where the holes were, and I think we lost maybe about 10. That was really about it. So absolutely fantastic. So again, these guys will be ready sort of that January, February. All right, what we'll do is we'll go up into the hothouse now, or the hoop house, and I'll show you what we've got set up in there. And that will, because what we're doing there is establishing a lot of the seeds, getting them into a seedling format, and then we can then plant out. But things like, your carrots and lettuces, we don't worry about. We just plant them directly. But your corns, pumpkins, and there's a variety of other stuff up there that we're ready to go. So we'll head up into the high tunnel hoop house. So I'll see you soon. All right, so what we've got now is basically getting everything up and running. So through here we've got more carrots and parsnips. We've got peas, beans, kidney beans. What have we got up there? A few more lettuces, zucchini. So we're just trying to see what's going to work versus outside versus inside, and where we've got a little bit more of a controlled environment sitting here. Now actually, while we're in here, I'll show you my elderberry trees. And here we go. So, as you remember, I think there's probably about, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, the elderberries were put in, and every one of them, yep, that's got a green root coming through, or a green bud coming in. That's about to go. They've got green buds. That's got a green bud. Yep, and that's got a green bud. So all the ones that don't have leaves are coming through. So there we go, elderberries, tip top, straight in for the swales. And so you've just got a fantastic for the bees, but then a one-off harvest. So, you're not going backwards and forwards, unlike apricots where you're constantly picking and things like that. But just a bit of success with elderberries. It's all fantastic. Now, also too, we're getting a lot of comments come through about who I actually am, and I suppose this is a good time as any. My name is, let me introduce myself. My name is actually Petter, as in Lake Petter from down in Tasmania. So I will now start introducing myself at the start of every video, and it's been quite funny because we thought how long would it be actually before someone starts asking, who are you? So anyway, again, my name is Petter, and nice to meet you all. So it's been a fantastic journey, and thank you for following. And I just love all the comments. Sometimes it becomes a little bit overwhelming with so many, like last week where we were talking about the soil hydration down the front of the property. I will get back to everyone. It's just sort of farm life takes a little bit of precedence, and then depending on what's happening at night, it's yeah. But anyway, I will get back to all. So anyway, here we are, trying to start a 100% food from the farm. Meats, beef, chicken, and lamb, all our vegetables ready to rock and roll. And but this is really what makes it all worthwhile. Is it's really about all the vegetables. And so as soon as we can get this half all sorted out, then it'll be amazing, because I just can't believe how much money we actually spend at the grocery store and the greengrocer, just picking up bits and pieces. Like, it's just full on. So we're going to give it a crack. I thought, why not? So we'll get ourselves for 2025, 1st of January. And yeah, anyway, hopefully it all comes together. So for all about getting yourself sorted out to actually maintain yourself through the year, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.